to go off to another special adventure. This morning I got myself together pretty quickly. I was running behind because I decided to do some computer work. So I looked at the clock and I was like, oh no, the day's gonna get away. And I don't like days to get away from me. So I decided to get it together and to Google something, and I just picked something that was at the top of the list. So today we're actually driving down to Polson. Polson is about an hour away from where I currently am because of traffic and stuff like that. And so I thought there's a trail here that we could check out, but there's a few other interesting things. So I thought, why not go to a place we haven't really explored? It could be kind of fun. So today we're gonna try something different, and then we'll head back to camp at the end of the day, which again will be another hour, but I'm okay with that. I enjoy getting out and just recreating. And so this is kind of like whenever I was in Leadville and I would go over to Breckenridge, or I'd go down to Salida, about the same distance overall. So it's gonna be worth it, but I got some driving to do, so let's get to it. I'll say this drive has been gorgeous. It goes along Flathead Lake and along the forest. It kind of takes you up and down in some elevations, and it's just really beautiful. At the same time, it's not anything too crazy. The speed limit has been a decent speed. There's only been a couple areas where you kind of slow down. And so coming from Kalispell to Polson, super nice, super scenic, and absolutely one that I will drive again because it's just really been pleasurable. In fact, I found a couple places I might pull off on my way back just to be able to see the water a little bit better. They were on the opposite side of the road, so I just decided I'll just hit them on the way back, but it's been nice. Oh, we made it to this gorgeous place, which I'll be sharing with you guys tomorrow because there's actually a walk here that I'm gonna do. So this should be fun. Again, I'm always trying to share with you guys things that you can do that will be easier things. And so I wanted to share this particular walk because it's a scenic walk, but I thought we could talk about like the area maybe because there's some really cool stuff here. But with that means I got to get myself together. So I'm trying to get a few things. I don't know how long this walk is. I probably should look that up also. It is on All Trails, and so I will find it. And again, everything will be included in tomorrow's video. But for now, I am feeling very Olympic today, as they say on Cool Runnings. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Yeah, it's bobsled time. It's not, but you know. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to find out a little bit of information about this place, and then we will take a walk. But first, I need to change over to my solar panel because right now I'm pulling off of the alternator. So let's go do that real quick. Okay, I got it switched over, and now I'm just waiting for it to pick up. There it goes. Okay, we're pulling in a little over 50 watts. That's pretty good. It's a nice day today. The panel's nice and clean. So for now, I have sunscreen on already. I am ready to go, and we are about to go and take our little walk. So I'll see you on this video tomorrow, but I'll see you in just a few minutes back at the van. Okay, we're back to the van, and it's time for us to change out the battery. Okay, let's see where we are and also where we're going. 88%, cool. I just had the most glorious morning. It was so nice. Oh, speaking of which, I need to stop my watch to let it know that we're finished with our walk. Okay, we're good. That was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was right by the waterfront, and whoo, permagrin, guys, permagrin. Okay, now that I'm back in the van, let's open up our set power and grab something cold to drink. I have an Arizona tea in here. Can't put it there because it's gonna slide. Close up the set power. All has been going great with the set power. In fact, as you can see, all is going good right now. I'm gonna take my little sweatband off and let it breathe a little bit. Definitely a little spicy today. It was a bit warmer than I was expecting. I was planning on going on a different kind of walk and sharing that with you, and it's just, I think, too hot. So I took the easier walk, but I am so glad that I did, because I think a lot of times people see that something is considered easy and they're like, I'm just not interested. This was an interpretive trail. So the entire time along, you could find signs about the history of this area, and this area is so fascinating. Like, for example, I learned that the indigenous people of this region are the first tribe to actually own the rights to a hydroelectric facility outside of town here. And it was known as the Kerr Dam. I'm not exactly sure what it's called now. But for now, I'm going to take myself into a little bit of a cooler zone, turn on the air conditioner, put this up to my face, let myself cool off, and then we are off to our next part of our adventure. Now, I have been doing a series of videos, which you probably have been seeing on my channel, and for some reason, I can't open this. Hang on, let me get this. Okay, I loosened it up, so this should be better. Oh, there we go. I've been doing a series of videos on my channel, kind of addressing some of the things that you guys have asked me over time. Things that I either regret purchasing, or things that I no longer use, or things that I would suggest for people who are starting out. And in doing so, I've just kind of been sprinkling them along all of the adventures. However, today I have one that I was asked about after the last video, and I am very intrigued by this one because this one is a good one. They said, what are things that you started out with when you got into your van because you didn't have a build, which I used things that I already had basically. And so they were asking, of those things, which things would you go back with again and which things would you not, and what have you put in place of those? And so I was just like, that's a fascinating question. So I think today what I'm going to do is actually take myself to the good old Walmart right over here and show you guys kind of the version that they have in stock of the thing that I had, and tell you kind of why I do or do not use those things now and what I use in their place. Because I think that would be kind of helpful, because most of the things I started out with from the good old Walmarto, and a lot of those things I still use, but some of them I do not. So maybe I do 5 things I started out with that I still have today, even after all these years, and then maybe I do another video of 5 things that I started out with that I no longer use. That could be helpful. In fact, you might have already seen one of these videos at this point, but I'm filming it today because that was a really good question. I love when people send me questions that give me ideas as to what things that you guys are thinking about van life and what things might be hard, because I've been doing travel for 8 years now. I've been on the road, 3 years in a tent, 5 years in the van, and along that time there's so many things that I've gone through just testing out stuff, but there's also things that I have really held on to. And so, you know, I think that could be interesting. So I think I'm gonna go to the Walmarto and do that, because most of the items that I started out with, like I said, I got from where I could, which was, that's not good. Sorry about that, guys. Anytime I see something, I'm like, oh no, is that coming over here? Are we good? Is there something bad? Especially like when it comes to like fire vehicles, I'm very cautious because I'm like, oh no. I don't ever want to be that person. Anyway, going back to what I said, most of the things that I was able to get were from my local Walmart, because I don't have a ton of stores near me. And I know a lot of people are in the same boat where that might be your only store. So we'll go there because that's a very relatable store. Everybody can find things. Of course, there is the access to things like Amazon and stuff like that, but a lot of people pick up things in person. In-person shopping is very popular, so that's a good way for us to do this. So I'm gonna head to Walmart, which is only 2 miles away, and then I'm gonna see if we can't figure out where to go next. Uh-oh, there goes another one. That's bad. It seems as though they're going in the opposite direction of where I'm going, so that's positive, but still, that's not good. That's 2 of them, which means that it's something a bit more serious. So I hope everything's okay. I always, if I see any kind of like situation like that, I always just kind of like send my like positivity that way, because not only is that a hard job, but also you never know what's actually happening. So I genuinely hope everything is okay. I made it here, and they have a Dollar Tree across the road, so I might actually stop in there as well. We'll see. It's always nice to be able to find different things, so maybe, I don't know. If I can get my keys to snap in, we'll go inside and see if there's anything of interest here other than just, okay, I'm struggling. Today's a struggle day, guys. Let's just clip it up here. That might be safer. There we go. Okay, nice thing about having a roof box is we kind of stick out from the rest, so I can find the van more easily. I did find a few things that I actually needed. I took care of a couple things that are for you guys. And they had all of their Lay's potato chips for $1. So I ended up picking up some, even though I'm kind of off of chips. I figure that we'll use them for the event, or I'll have snacks. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But yay, we made it to the van, so I'm gonna put everything away. Okay, a good trip to Walmart. But every time I go into Walmart, I kind of just like meander around and I look for things. Specifically, I look for things that might be of interest to us here on the channel. And something that I've noticed is when I'm in areas that have more outdoor recreation, you find so many more options for things like jackets. You find so many more options for hiking boots. You find so many more things in like the sporting goods section that are useful for various things. For example, if I go to my hometown Walmart, there's a section for like boating. It's a decent size because we have lakes. But when you come to an area where there's a massive lake, you're gonna find a lot more lake related items in way of not only just like, oh, look, it's a cute bathing suit, or oh, it's a sun shirt, but also in way of, hey, these are for safety and security on the water. And so I just kind of noticed that anytime I come to a Walmart, like when I go to Colorado, you can actually find ski bibs at some of the Walmarts there, and they're decently priced. So if you look them up at like a ski related store, you're gonna pay premium. But if you go into the Walmart, you might find similar items just at the Walmart brand for very little in comparison. Here, what was kind of funny is they had tons of cowboy boots, and not just like one kind of cowboy boots or like men's cowboy boots, but like lots of different styles, from like fashion cowboy boot to like all sorts of different like work boots that you normally don't see. Now, do they have Justin Ariat? No, they don't. Do they have any Lucchese's? No. But do they have really nice looking boots? Yeah, they do. And they were reasonably priced. So you could get a all leather, nice pair of boots for like $50 here, as opposed to if you were to go down to Texas, they don't have those. And we have just as many people who are country people. So it's just kind of funny to see the differences, but I always pay attention to those things. I also, while I was warming around, ended up meeting this dude from Oklahoma. And so we were sitting there in the sporting goods section. He was looking for something and we were just chatting away, Texas, Oklahoma stuff. So that was pretty cool. It's always interesting to see who you meet on the road, but with that, I have had a good productive time here. I picked up a couple things. I think one of the things I'm going to share with you guys as I make it, I've been really craving some stuffed mushrooms. I saw these portobellas whenever I was all the way up in Telluride that looked delightful, but at the same time, I wasn't really in the mood to make those whenever I was there. I was there with Riley. Riley doesn't do mushrooms. So I was like, that's kind of a waste, man. So I decided that since I'm by myself now, solo dolo time, I'm going to make my stuffed mushrooms. So I picked up some portobellas, I picked up some deliciousness to go with it, and I'll show you how we put them together when we get back to camp maybe tonight. That could be kind of cool. So yeah, that could be something kind of fun, and then I could just kind of do a little chit chat with you guys about some of the things that I've got coming up, or some of the things that I'm thinking about, and it'll kind of put you in a better place where you get a behind the scenes while I'm making a meal. I like to do those kinds of things with you guys because it just kind of gives us a task, but we can also talk about things that you're interested in. So I'll comb through some of the comments that I have, and if you guys have any questions that are of interest, and I'll do that this evening. That'll be super fun. But until then, surprisingly, my drink is still cold. I was in there for a minute. Also, fridge is packed now, so there is no room at the end. I got to use some of my stuff. Using the smaller compartment as the fridge and the larger as the freezer is both good and bad. So the nice thing about this particular set power is you can make it dual zone or you can make it singular, and I've been using it as dual zone. The thing is, again, the freezer packed to the gills because I've been just getting things and then using them, but then I replenish them. So it's never truly empty. And the problem with that is that now the fridge is also never going to be truly empty. So the smaller compartment, while it is a blessing to use as the fridge, also sometimes becomes a problem. Like I just had to do some maneuvering to get everything to fit in here, but it is in there now. So we have plenty of stuff for us to have some nice yummies. And so now I just have to go and cook something up for us. Okay, we're back on the road again and we're heading north toward Kalispell. I was gonna go to a museum today, but when I got there, it was super packed. So I may have to come back down here to do that. Then I mind, because it is gorgeous down here. From all points of Polson, I've been able to see the water, and it's just so nice. Okay, I'm driving along, and I'm getting a few little raindrops. Nothing bad, but just interesting, because I mean, it's for the most part pretty sunny today, so it's kind of wild. Okay, a little rain has now turned into quite a bit of rain, so it just kind of is what it is. It stopped raining long enough for me to make this stop. I saw this on the way toward where we were going today in Polson, and I was like, oh, I want to check that out. Now, some of the other places I wanted to check out are super packed right now. They're right by the lake, and so there's lots of people who are there in the afternoon. So I couldn't stop off. We will go back out to Flathead though, because there's some cool stuff out there that I definitely want to check out. But this I could check out, and I'm really excited about it. So let's go. I always love a good historic sign, and it looks as though we have two of them here. And this is the Summers and Kalispell Spur Line. It says in 1901, Great Northern Railroad tycoon James J. Hill, who was a local businessman, and also John O'Brien joined forces to operate the 11-mile railway line and sawmill. Now this is a really busy stop, so it's harder to learn from this one, but even with that, it says here that they ended up building 122 residences as well as a general store right here in this area. So it's super cool. Now, it looks very different though. It does go on to say though that the Burlington Northern Railroad used the spur line until 1985. Now it looks like there is a bike path down here. And then look at this area, how gorgeous this is. Let's go on to say one more thing though. It says that Joseph House ended up building a trading post just north of here in 1810. So that was pretty cool. Now, at stops like this, it's a little harder to hear, but the long story short of it is that these two guys teamed up and they put together this railroad line, and it was still used up until 1985, which is super awesome. However, there's some other cool information here, including that another man created the first European housing development up by the Flathead area. So I think that's kind of cool too, but you would never know any of that if you didn't stop off at the signs, which is why I wanted to stop. And it does look very different here now. They have these two water areas, one on each side of the road with ducks in them. It looks like there's a bike path down there. That's pretty neat. So I don't know, it's pretty cool to be able to see, but the views here are incredible. So it's worth it just for the small brain wrinkles and then also the view. Additionally, because this is such a busy section right now, it does make it though really, 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 really loud. So you definitely want to like take it in and then come back to the quiet of the car because it's one of those. Whew. Woo-saw! I think I'm gonna go get some gas and then start heading back toward the property for the day. I'm going to be cooking some dinner tonight, and I think that Charles and Tony have something else going on. So I'm going to take that opportunity to just film for you guys and then just kind of relax for a little while because it's been kind of an interesting day. I know that we didn't look like we did a ton today, but at the same time, I've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes that when you guys start to see it, you're gonna be really excited. I've been scouting some locations for me and Riley to go to because she's desperately wanting to come up here and just expand upon this space because she didn't get to come up here last year. So I did a lot of recon today. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna come down here? If we do, what are we gonna do? And as I was doing that, I noticed that because again, it's the weekend, it got super, super busy. So like some of these areas, I was like, okay, note to self, do not come on the weekend, come during the week, it'll be fine. So it should be quite interesting. I'm very much looking forward to this. But before we get to that point, we got to get Riley here, and she did say that I think she's going to be leaving out next week. So I'm excited. There's not that many more days before my friends are all here, and I have thoroughly enjoyed getting to spend time with the ones that already are here, but they're all going to start like filtering in very soon. And some of the people I haven't gotten to see since we were in the desert. I will say this though, it should be entertaining. We have a list of activities and events that we're going to do at the gathering, and you guys are going to like it. You guys are going to have a really good time with this. Ooh, up came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider got gas for $3.29. It ended up overall being $31.67, so I'll scan this in for fetch. We'll get our points and then we'll deal with that later. But for now, I'm just gonna put it right up here so I can remember to do that whenever I get to camp. Whew, it is bright and sunny here, so yeah, we've just kind of been going through the weird weather over the past few days. It just kind of is what it is. So you just kind of go with it. It is, you know, fine. Sure. So I'm only about 10 minutes away from the property, and so after that I think I'm going to start getting my life together, moving around a little bit, cooking for you guys. And I've already gone through some of the questions that you guys have asked recently, so I will definitely be adding those to this video so you can see some responses. I try to, as frequently as possible, update you guys on the questions that you're asking. Just makes it a little bit easier, and so this is a great way for me to talk about some of the weird things that you guys have been asking me. Okay, since I'm here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put my window covers up, start getting myself organized. This thing is progressively getting worse and worse. I'm definitely gonna replace this bag once I get back to Texas because I have another one like it. In the meantime, I tried to pull the string out, it just unraveled more. So I don't know if it's like anchored somewhere because it doesn't seem to wanna come out. So it's just this. Maybe I just cut this at this point. Ugh. Seems problematic too, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. Sure. Anyway, I'm gonna get rid of this and put these up and we'll figure it out. Okay, just back in the back, it looks as though my Jackery got completely topped off. My small power bank also did. This one did, but it's already pulled 4% off because it's pretty spicy still. So I just have it plugged into the solar and it's pulling about 2 watts kind of every so often. So we'll see if it gets up anymore, but I'm pleased with this. This is back up to normal. So from the perspective of the day, I think that everything went well. I've been very productive. Again, lots of cool things, and I can't wait to share them with you guys. But for now, I think I'm going to peace out for the night. I am tired. I still have to make some dinner, and well, okay, maybe I should just leave these on. Oh, it's bright. I'll let you guys see what I end up with on an upcoming video. We'll talk out some of the questions that you guys have, and we'll just have a good time. And until then, remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. Find things that bring you joy, do things that make you happy. And I heard a beeping. I should probably go investigate that. Until next time, bye.